Hello, everybody, and welcome to Stacks Grants Demo Day for February 2021. I am Ryan. I am the Stacks Ecosystem Steward, and I'm going to be walking you through the demos today, all the different grants that have been ongoing these last couple months since our last demo day in October. So, if you're not familiar with the grants program, just go to stacks.org/grants. All the information is there. Lots of really interesting projects on the wish list, as well as many different things that you can get started with helping other people on their grants potentially. So with that, we're going to get started with one of our first presenters today, which is Omer and Ali from Stacks Turkeys. Just give me a moment, I'll bring them on the screen, and we will get started. All right. So
hey,
there
everyone.
is Omer. Hey, Omer. And we'll just get Ali going. There he is.
Hi, guys.
Perfect. He's joining us from the beach today.
Yes.
Lucky guy. But yeah, so with that, I'm just going to hand over. Do you want me to do the share screen, or do you want to do it on your end, Omer? What's better for you? Give it a try and see if it works.
I can't see the button for.
Okay, cool. It's okay. I'll share it. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna turn off my thing here and share my screen. All right. So ready, you guys? You can get started, and I'll share my screen as I go here. I think.
Okay, yeah. Let's start it. Let's introduce us first. My name is Ali. I'm the one of the Stacks Turkey community leader, and there's Ömer. Let's go, Ömer.
Yeah, my name is Ömer, guys, and I'm one of the Turkish leads of Stacks Turkey. And we are building the Turkish community with support of Stacks Foundation and in the same time Hero PBC. We are organizing AMA events, town hall sessions, meetups with the big influencers in Turkey. In the meantime, we are writing articles to introducing Stacks and the Stacks technology to Turkish investors. I want to talk about our success, and the Turkish community had only 300 members in the beginning. Then I joined the community and as a volunteer moderator. I worked hard for growth of the Turkish community. I want to thank to Luis Ivan. He always supported us to growth.
Yes, great guy, yeah, Luis.
And now we have more than 3,000 members in our community's Telegram group, and our Twitter account has more than 1,500 followers, and Stacks Turkey become the second largest crypto community in Turkey. It's great success for us, and we are excited to announcing it with you. Last time we hosted more than 800 live viewers in the Turkish community town hall session. Munip was our special guest. I want to thank to him. And Turkey is the largest cryptocurrency investor in Middle East. There are great potential for promoting and advertising Stacks and the Stacks technology. Now we have great momentum of growth, and we want to keep building thanks to Stacks Foundation's support.
Yeah, actually we start feeling it because I think it was end of the January, right? We got our first milestone, and by it we start localizing the articles in Turkish language. We want to aim more Turkish documents for the Turkish investors, because unfortunately actually we don't have so many investors who knows English. So the foundation help us to work with the translators. Sometimes we are translating, but there's some difficult articles that we cannot translate. We want to do in the future, we want to organize more MAA. We want to work with the more influencers. So we are going to use more foundation grants for it. And Ömür will do the documentation.
Yeah.
So it's a great opportunity to work with you guys. Thank you.
Right. You've got another grant in the pipeline right now, right? If I remember correctly?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So yeah, that's something. Yours was a 4-week grant, I believe, and then it's just you're applying for every month, kind of thing. Is that how it was? Okay. Good, good. I can't see your faces because I'm sharing the screen here, so I'm going to unshare the screen. Close. All right. So let's see. Beach. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Great. So if there's any questions for Omar and Ali, please pop them in the chat there, and we can come back to the end. At the very, very end, we're going to have questions for the Stacks Foundation itself as well. But at this point, just seeing the chat's pretty quiet around that, so that's okay. And we're just going to move on to Star. And yeah, okay, cool. Star, we'll get yourself ready there, and we'll switch over. Okay, thanks to both of you, and we're in Ali.
Okay, thank you, Ryan. Take care. See you guys.
You too. Okay, bye.
Yeah.
All right. So, okay, cool. So now we're back here, and we're going to bring Star up on the screen. There we go. So, Star, you are invited. Accepting connection. Perfect. Okay, so moving on. If you've got questions, now I'll be able to see the chat, so I can help them bring them forward to Star. Star, it looks like your video is not turned on. There you go. Very good. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to hop back off the screen, and when it is time to move back to the next person, then we will do so. But yeah, here is Star with Skoje. Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah, you got it right.
Okay, cool. I thought my French might be a little helpful with that. Okay, cool. Here I go.
Hi, everyone. Please bear with me if I say anything weird or strange because it's the first time I'm presenting in a long time. But my brand is Skoje. It's a fashion brand. In about 2015, I became really interested in web XR, web VR space, and started dabbling into what's possible with just immersive experiences in web. And 2 years from there, in 2017, I was introduced to the blockchain world and eventually Stacks, and started just getting really into what would be possible with DLTs and kind of traditional fashion brands, and how we can like retain our most valuable asset, which is the content that we give away for free through these social media platforms for the most part. So this is my brand. Skoje is essentially a fashion brand, but it's also a world that I've been developing. A world that has a story that I've been writing for the past 2 years. A world with people, which is the community, places, both digital and physical, things, which are the items, and adventures, which are the experiences that can be produced on both the digital and physical front. So just a quick overview of just what led me into kind of getting into blockchain. After just doing some research on my own, I realized that the content that most brands were giving away through traditional platforms, if brands would have the means to kind of create their own ecosystems and communicate directly with their users or their fans, there would be no need for the social platforms that kind of take advantage of creators, essentially. So this is just a quick breakthrough of what I was saying earlier, how they're...
Star, your screen's not sharing right now. I don't know if you're meaning to, but it's not yet. No. It looked like you were very close to the monitor, and I was like, I think he thinks it's sharing right now.
What do you guys see?
Just you.
Just me?
Yeah.
Okay, 1 second.
It worked in testing. I know we had it going.
Yeah. You probably was all in my face just now.
It was real close, but that's okay.
All right, 1 second.
There, okay, cool. Now you're good.
Okay. But yeah, so I was just going through these couple of slides, which is everything I was just explaining. And so basically, the way I see it is that everything that exists in the physical world can exist in the digital world, and you can have counterparts of of physical assets, and have digital versions of that, as well as experiences and space. So the product would easily translate into a digital product. The experience would be something that you would create, which is whether it's a story or a space, and then space as well, like Decentralized or such. So essentially what I'm using the Stacks ecosystem for is access control. So I'm creating these digital counterparts, which will essentially be NFTs that can either sorry, not necessarily NFTs, but more so keys. I guess they could be NFTs that are used as keys to kind of access these experiences. And for the past couple of years, I've been developing my initial experience. But the goal is to, after this first experience, to kind of partner with other platforms like Decentraland or the Sandbox to add on to the experiences that are possible. So once a consumer owns a physical product, they would also have a digital counterpart that can exist in multiple worlds in the metaverse. So here's like a range of pieces that I hope to get out this year, and then also create digital counterparts for. And this is kind of like the roadmap for the overall plan. So initially is just to do the stuff that is required in the real world when it comes to manufacturing products, and then creating the digital counterparts for them, and also developing the first experience that I'll use the stacks. I'll use Radix for users to communicate amongst each other, and then that entire experience, and then it'll roll into marketing, launching, and then building out other experiences with other within the metaverse. And I could give you guys a quick. Can you still see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. So this is essentially the platform I've been building for the past 2 years, and what it is once the customer owns a piece, they will have access to this website, and what it is essentially is a story that's fragmented into 450 pieces. So each person who owns a product will have access to one of these squares, and in this square, they'll see a piece of that fragmented story here, an image that's associated to that part of the, sorry, it's loading, but an image that's associated to that fragment. And then they'll have the option to kind of communicate with the rest of the community through, so they can go to this place right here and then like type in whatever it is that they want to say. Maybe they discovered something and they want to share with the rest of the users. They can add an image, they can add some text, and that way, like, it'll give everyone that owns a piece a way to communicate with each other, essentially. And I'm sorry, I apologize for like rushing through this because I don't necessarily want to take too much time. And I have another laptop, so I'm just going to demonstrate what it would look like if there were two people here.
And Star, you're good. You got still 7 more minutes. So.
Oh, outstanding.
Yeah.
So I just added like a simple hello to this fragment of the story. But if there was another person here, it would. One second, sorry. So here's the image that I just added. I'm trying to work on another laptop as well, but it's kind of giving me some trouble right now. But essentially, each person would own one of these cubes, and there's like this there's this fragmented story experience, but there's also a linear, somewhat of a puzzle game. So as they unlock these different pieces, there'll be different puzzles that they can go through, and each puzzle will kind of like take them down this range, as well as start to kind of put this entire puzzle story together overall. And the users will be able to communicate with each other and kind of like help each other get further along in the story. 1 second, I'm still trying to share this thing. So this is one of the cubes that is owned by another user. I'm experiencing a little glitch right now, but basically the same thing, different story fragment, different image associated to that story, and then the user can post their own image based on whatever it is that they discover, or if they simply want to communicate with the rest of the community. Initially, it was just to kind of give access based on like the Blockstack ID, but I kind of want to build that out into an NFT that allows access rather than just the Blockstack ID. And then basically this would be some sort of like rotating experience that once they've completed the game or completed the story, then they would probably be able to sell that experience onto another person or sell it back to the brand itself, and kind of just continue to give an added layer of utility to the people who purchase the products from the brand. But yeah, I think I would love to get into the puzzle part, but I feel like it would take me too long to kind of get things going. But with the Stacks grant, I'm using that to kind of speed up the content production. There's a lot of images and even illustrations that I need to create to kind of help with the storytelling aspect of it all. And for the most part, most of the writing and the story is done. We just need to populate it with some content, and Stacks is helping with that. And then eventually I want to do some really cool stuff with access control and NFTs that can exist in other experiences as well. But that's about it. Thank you.
No problem. Thanks for joining us today and showing us around what you're working on. It's very cool. I feel it doesn't show the diversity of things between what Stacks Turkey is doing and what Star is doing here. I mean, it's pretty cool. All right, so you have to close that there. And so now we're going to move over to Jonathan. So Star, thanks for coming. So I'm going to disconnect you and we'll catch you on Discord. Oh, he did it himself. Even easier. All right, so Jonathan, you are up now. He's going to be talking about the Discord community bot that he's been working on for a while. I believe a couple months for sure. Like it was before the grant started, and he's got the grant for kind of continuing the work. But he can definitely tell you more on that. So, Jonathan, you are up.
Hey, how's it going? All right.
Good.
Go ahead and hop into my screen share. All right. So a little bit about what we're building. It's a Discord automation bot, if you will. The purpose and target of this is to help decentralize ownership of a Discord server and also put the power of moderation into the members of that server. So the idea is that anyone that sees something that's not correct or inappropriate in inside of a channel, they can flag that message, and it goes into a queue. and then the community managers can then vote on if they agree that item should be removed, or if it it is within the guidelines and can stay. And there's the whole process, which I'll show here in a second, of how that works. And it logs everything for full transparency. If something got voted to be removed or not removed, why it was removed and such. So I'll go ahead and jump into that demo. Are you able to see my screen okay?
Yeah, I can see you're inside your Discord right now.
Okay, perfect. So what I'm going to do is just send a, this is a test message for the demo. So let's pretend this was a message from another user that was, outside of the guidelines, some kind of inappropriate message or spamming for, whatever you have here. So what I can do is I can go into the guidelines, and this will be expanding over time. And I can flag to delete a message, or if I want, I can directly to the message, I can add a flag emoji. Oops. So when I flag this, the bot's going to send me a message and say, hey, I see that you want to report the following message. It shows you the message, and you can actually click the link to view the message to confirm that it is the right one. So if I accidentally flag the wrong one, I can say, no, I didn't mean to do that, or I can go ahead and confirm. So I'm going to go ahead and confirm this one. The bot says, thanks for confirming. I've put your message in the mod queue. So let me go back to Stacks here. So now in the open items, we have a new item here. So it says 2Intents has flagged the following message by myself. And it has the message and it has the link. So this is where the community managers will be voting on this message. So it's a 2-vote weighted system. So if someone votes up and then someone votes down, those 2 votes offset. So it takes 2 votes in either direction to confirm or deny this item. So I'm going to go ahead and add the second confirm. And what happens then is the message gets removed. So if I go to the testing, you can see my message is no longer here. Since I was the person who sent the message, the bot's going to message me and let me know that I have that the message has been deleted. And then also it adds in the audit log that a message by 2Intents has been deleted. I can click here to see what the message was for historical purposes. And this audit log will be open for everyone to see, so they can see, what messages have been removed and what messages weren't removed. The next thing is the enrollment. So there's 3 roles currently: the CM1, Community Manager 1, Community Manager 2, and Community Manager 3. So the way that the Community Manager 1 works is if you want to enroll, you can react to this, and it puts you into the enrollment queue. And similar to how the messages work, it's a voted system where the current community managers can approve your way into the Community Manager 1 role. From there, the users will earn points, like reputation points for activity in the server, reporting messages, voting, and a few other things that we're still deciding on. But you'll basically have points that go towards you, and then also point decay. So if there's inactivity, you quit being active in the system, or you're just not active anymore, then you'll slowly start to lose points. So you have to maintain a certain level of activity to stay eligible for the higher community manager roles. And also, once you're there, you also have to stay active enough to maintain that role. Because the idea is we don't want someone holding up a community manager role that's not active at all. I think, hopefully I didn't rush through that too fast, but I think that's everything, unless I'm forgetting something. Let me, since I went through that pretty fast, I'll go through the guideline method as well. So let me send another message here. Just to show you the guideline method, it's very similar to flagging the message. Just there's another step at the very beginning. So if I go ahead and react to the guideline, I immediately get a message from the bot letting me know that I see you're looking to remove a message, and maybe this should say flag a message. Please reply with a link. So if I go back here to the message that is in question, I can right-click this and copy message link and send this to the bot. So same thing, it's going to ask me to confirm just to make sure I copied the right link. And then it's going to add it to the open items. And the same process from there happens. So, I think that's it.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks for showing us around. I think there's some people who are excited about it, which is great to see. I know there's a lot of potential with this and different ways it can cross over the other projects. So thanks again for sharing that. So we're going to invite Juliet up next to talk about the code of conduct she's been working on as part of governance. Oh. There you go. Can you guys still hear me? Oh no. I went to the other screen. My video should still be active. Perfect. Yeah, I clicked the wrong button. Sorry about that. All right, so Juliet, you are up next, so I will get you up here. You're right on screen now. I'm glad I didn't leave the browser because that's what I thought I did. So yay for that. That would have ended it for everybody. All right, so Juliet is coming on now.
Hi there.
Yeah. Hey, okay, great. So I'm going to get myself off the screen here and let yourself go ahead.
Hi, everybody. My name is Juliet Oberding. I'm from San Francisco. I'm part of the Stacks Governance Working Group, and I'm going to introduce you to the Code of Conduct project. And so let me go ahead and share my screen. Okay.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
All right, thanks.
It's showing the, yeah, just change screens. There you go.
I'm going to do that in a second. Okay, here we go. So we started this project with a proposal to the grant committee at the Stacks Foundation. And then once we were approved for the grant, we got started with research on similar codes for conduct. And so yesterday we met our milestone 1, and we're moving into milestone 2 with our request for comment. And as you can see here, we have a request for comment on issue 132 for the Stacks Code of Conduct. It goes into some of the backgrounds and the problems. You can see any relevant documents on this in the first line at issue 119. And that tells us all about the work that's been done to now, the research that has been done, and there's also the milestones that you can find at the Stacks grant for the Code for Conduct. So one of the key things with the Code of Conduct is we'd had put up by the HERO team, I think it was in 2019, a Code of Conduct that was based on the Contributor Covenant, and which is a great place to start because it's used by quite many decentralized communities. And so that was something I was really excited to look at, but I saw some things that really needed to be added into. And one of the key things for me, and I think many people in the community, is to have something that expresses who we are, particularly when it comes to a can't be evil mindset and that ethos. So if you look through here, you scroll down, you'll see the Stacks Code of Conduct beta. And as you can see, we talk about that can't be evil ethos and the idea of a user-owned internet and how important that is, as well as sovereignty, self-sovereign identity, and privacy. So we wanted to create a code of conduct that included all this ethos in our code of conduct, not just a code of conduct that was, just pulled right off the page, so to speak. So we started with the contributor covenant, and we also incorporated Mozilla's Code of Conduct enforcement ladder, which is a great thing. There's a link here to a great thing to take a look at as far as Code of Conduct enforcement. And we also looked at the Citizen Code of Conduct, the LGBTQ in tech, the Django project, and all of these three are incorporated within the current initial Code of Conduct. And so at the bottom of these request for comment, there's quite a bit of information of things that the research that we did, the things we relied on in order to generate this Code of Conduct. And so the big thing that's important here is not the work that we've done, but the work that for you to do now, and for everyone in the Stacks community to come and take a look at our request for comment, and to give your suggestions, your comments, your thumbs up, to let us know, is this what you want to see in a Code of Conduct? To bring everyone's opinions and ideas within the Code of Conduct, so it's truly representative of us as a worldwide community with people from many different diverse backgrounds. And so again, I'll put this in the, I'll drop the GitHub link into the chat if it hasn't been already. And I ask you to come and take a look and get involved with the governance group on Discord. I'll be posting more information about this and talking more about it throughout the coming weeks. So I think that's about it.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Juliet. Yeah, so I've pasted the link in there already, but feel free to share again if you want to add more context or what have you, of course. Yeah, I guess we're going to move over to more governance-related stuff with Harold. Yeah, and the governance community meets Thursday, every second Thursday. So people are looking. I think today was one of them. I'm not sure. Was that last week?
That was last week, yeah. So okay, next week.
So next week.
Next week.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Cool.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming, Juliet, and we'll pop over to Harold. Okay. And let's get Harold up on the screen. So Harold, I hope you are ready. I'm sure you are. Oop, I just clicked on your name rather than inviting you. All right. And then after Harold will be Jeff from Hero, who's going to talk about some of the wish list grants that he's got put into the grants program, which is exciting. Harold's, see, it's not inviting. Okay, let's try again. There you go. Okay. Good to go. Okay, right. So I will move out of the way again and give the screen to you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Con. And thank you, Con, everybody, for being here. It's great to see all you guys. I'm Harold. As mentioned, I've been working with the governance working group for about a year already now. It's been some exciting times. Throughout that time, I've been involved with the Blockstack and Stacks ecosystem since back in 2016. Got really involved 2018, and really excited for what's been going on with the governance working group. So I'll share my screen now and try to avoid anything too bad. Let's see.
Right now it is just black.
All right. Let's see.
Yeah, you're good now. Whoa, that was cool. Let's change tabs and then we're good to go.
Okay. Okay, so here can you see my screen? It says community rule.
Yep, it's up now with the birds. Yep.
Beautiful, beautiful. So this is mentioned in the chat earlier was policy kit, right? And this is a crucial piece to policy kit, and something that we hope to be leveraging in this decision making voting mechanism for the community. And so there's these templates here that try to address what community rule and policy kit have tried to take into consideration as we move into this Web3 era. And what they've noticed, right, is that these communities, because of the tools that we use, the different platforms, there's this tendency to go towards a benevolent dictator-like structure or structuralist tyranny. These problems that we have in governance, right? Overall, in the space, and so it's very interesting to have these different templates here that go along with what is an engine of a policy kit that can, you can program time triggers and date triggers. You can program triggers into an act, into plugins like GitHub or Discord, Discourse, and so these tools that we use, we can layer on top of it the community rules that we agree with. And so this has been some really interesting work that has been in combination with this MetaGov project that has some researchers involved with it out of Harvard and Oxford, particularly Joshua Tan out of Oxford, Primavera Di Filippi out of Harvard Research and Blockchain Systems. And Primavera specifically has been very foundational to our work in research in the Stacks Foundation and the governance working group in bottom-up systems, and how important they are for the initial conditions of this Web3 space, so that in the long term we have true sustainability in decentralization, right? Because we don't want to defeat the purpose of what these technologies are for, right? And so she stresses the importance of the initial, the initial conditions, right? And this is also work that coincides with other research from the generative justice research that stresses the initial conditions of this space and being able to build out tangible bottom-up systems that go along with the technology, right? So the governance and how important that is for us in the future and the long term, so we don't end up in basins of attraction that we don't want, that are conventional to other technologies of the past. And so this might be a familiar screen for some folks, right? SourceCred has become extremely popular just in the last few months, before this as well, and folks like MetaGov have done some pretty amazing things with PolicyKit and SourceCred already, where they've already accomplished being able to have PolicyKit speak to SourceCred and be able to get important information back, like cred flows, right? And cred, different values of the cred. And if you're not familiar with SourceCred, there's this very interesting stuff going on, right? Where they have a cred graph where each one of these nodes tries to keep equilibrium and does keep equilibrium through exchanging cred, which is just transparent reputation-like system. But in each one of these edges in between these nodes or ponds, right, you have these dependencies, right? So you have the ability to track the dependencies of all of the different value flows in a given plugin, right? Whether that's GitHub or Discord or Discourse. And so there's a lot of beautiful opportunity here. Specifically, what we've been speaking about in the GitHub post link there in the chat is this opportunity, which we've confirmed with SourceCred to track cred flow through posts. So because of the different API that's possible or that's in SourceCred, you have the ability to track different value flows through posts. And this is important, particularly when we consider what happens in a Discord server, right? And how there's all these rabbit holes going on that a lot of us, it's hard to keep track of, or maybe some of us don't even have the technical capacity to keep track of it, or the different backgrounds that it may take. And so to be able to track cred flow in a bottom up means where a certain number of posts in a certain quorum period are selected as extremely important for folks to have seen before making a certain decision. This is a very powerful means of being able to track value flow and then being able to use PolicyKit as an engine, right, or the driver for SourceCred, and be able to check, does this person have enough cred, if that's one of the models you're using, or does this person have enough cred in the right post, which is an interesting model, I think, for bottom-up systems design. And so here you see a bot that we've put together that goes along with source cred, where source cred is here monitoring the things going on in this particular server. But you also see a matrix bot here, right? And this matrix bot is actually attached to one of the applications built in our ecosystem from Friedger, right? A lot of us know and love Friedger for how prolific he is in this ecosystem. And this is one of the tools that I think a lot of us miss because of how early on it was made, but also because of just how humble Friedger is, right? And there's a lot of powerful things that can happen with the bridges in Matrix. And this is what we've done here, right? So you see the capacity for puppeting, what they call puppeting. So you're able to have, two-way communication between what is, this Matrix application, polished application that Friedger has layered Stacks identity and storage on top of. And this is important for some of the things that we originally wanted to do with the voting mechanism early on in the grant process. And trying to switch trajectories a little bit because of mainnet, and now I've kind of found this what seems like a new bleeding edge in the space. And so here there's a lot of capacity for using Policy Kit, using OI chat from Friedger, and being able to get some very interesting things done decision making wise, where you can have the quorum periods that we originally wanted in terms of building an application from scratch. You can have some of the identity things that we wanted instead of, when we're thinking of building an application from scratch. And now we have a lot of interesting things that are possible with source cred, which I didn't even all the way mention in terms of the capacity for the weight configuration, right? So
Harold,
yeah.
Hey, I know it's exciting stuff, just we have to get on to Jeff's as well, so it might be good for if you could do like a blog post about this too,
Yes,
kind of a video recording walking this through. That would be really, I think, great, because there's a lot here to see and it's important stuff. We don't want to miss it. I'm just going to make sure we hear Jeff's wish and stuff too.
Yes, no problem. Thank you, Connie.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. Okay, so I'm going to bring Jeff up. Yeah, because people are definitely interested in what you're sharing here.
Thank you, Connie. Please join us in the GitHub, of course.
Yeah. Okay, so Jeff, I'm going to bring you back on screen. Harold, move. Okay. Jeff's going to talk about the wish list grants that he's put as part of the grants program. So he's just coming on screen now. And again, thank you, Harold, for sharing all that. That was really awesome to see. I know there's a lot going on. So, okay. Here, Jeff, you are up.
Hi there.
Good to see ya.
How's it going? Yeah, thanks for inviting me. Audio, video, good?
Yeah.
Cool. I wonder if I can share my screen. I'll
should be able to. Yeah.
To these issues. There we go. Yeah, you should see yourselves.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're good. Yeah, now you're in the form. Yeah.
Cool. So I'll talk about this post a little bit. I'm Jeff. I work at Hero. I'm our head of product. I work a lot with Dwalker and Alex and Mark. Over there, we spend a lot of time talking kind of internally about things we'd like to see built on Stacks. And for years, we were kind of operating as this like single company. So we're always like thinking about what we can build. And so now that we're in mainnet, the sort of right way to think about this is it's like what kind of mechanisms are out there to help encourage people to build really useful things. And so I've been thinking for months, actually. I'm like, I've got a bunch of wish list ideas in my head, and we have talked about internally a lot of wish list ideas of things we'd like to see built on Stacks. And so I just thought, like, I got to start somewhere and sometime on this. So I kind of decided to write my first wish list grant, and then it kind of turned it into 3 as I chatted with folks about just sort of key things that are kind of missing today, and that we would really love for somebody to build. So this post kind of explains like why these 3 things, and I can talk about them all briefly, and then do questions. So this is a forum post, but the 3 items are linked here, and they're all in GitHub. So I will, let's see here. think I'll just talk about each one while looking at the GitHub issue. I don't know, Ryan, if you can easily grab these issue links and share them, that might be helpful.
Yeah, sure can.
Cool.
I'll put them in the chat.
Yeah, thank you. So the first one is pretty easy, and there's actually, I think, already been a few drafts passed around. It's just an ERC20 spec. Like our equivalent of that might have a different name. And I think this is probably not a lot of technical work. It's more of just a community kind of norms and standard thing, and just like a SIP process probably to adopt it kind of officially as well. And this is just so that there's some sort of standardization across the way like wallets, exchanges, and sort of new token products kind of show up in wallets and like inside of apps, and it just will help. It'll help kind of like tokens always sort of be presented in a familiar way. And so I think it's just one of those things that's like, it's like common rails that we can all ride on, and just makes follow-on token innovations sort of faster and easier. And you don't have to, when you're working on a new token, you don't have to like wonder about the way that a wallet would consume and display it. I think there's also some follow-on work too that this will kind of unblock, like just around like adding additional traits and maintaining whitelists of known tokens. And there's actually like a lot of weird sort of governance stuff in sort of like which tokens are represented under which names and stuff. And there's a whole bunch of stuff that actually Hank knows a lot more about than I do that he's referenced here. And I think he has the first proposal, and I believe that Frieger and a couple of other people have also proposed similar kind of proposals in the past. But anyway, feel free to check this out and add comments. Again, I'm not funding this. The foundation is. I'm just sort of putting it out there as saying, hey, I wish somebody would do this, and I'm happy to bat around ideas, and the whole Hero team is also super happy to provide feedback. So this is, I think I proposed that it's a $3,000 grant, but I mean, the cool thing about this is just a proposal. So I think feel free to write a follow-up proposal and say, hey, I want to tweak some of the success criteria, and I want to do this different kind of rollout, and the payment should be something different. I think this is still at the sort of draft stage, so new ideas are definitely welcome. This next one is just the idea of doing a decentralized exchange. So this is similar to Uniswap, which is the really popular, successful exchange on Ethereum. The reason I actually, and then there's also been a lot of work by Pascal on Swapper already, which is I think that's like the good, important like first step here. So it's almost like I'm interested to either see the Pascal Swapper idea like sort of take into production, or to see other teams kind of innovate on that and do something else. The reason I'm suggesting this is super important is actually less because I think like we need to do a lot of token trading, but more because what it would allow is that if you are somebody who wants to innovate with a Stacks-based token, it actually allows you to sort of offer your economic mechanism or your product and the token. It lets you offer it to users, and then it lets them immediately do whatever they're supposed to do with it, and then exit with their profit or with their whatever benefits that they're kind of there for. It sort of creates like a full complete loop of sort of value for new tokens, and it's almost like a precondition for like lots of innovation in tokens to happen. I think is the ability to sort of buy into the token and then exit back out of the token. And I feel like it's almost like I feel like you see that a lot now with stuff in Ethereum. It's like people innovate on tokens and they're exchangeable, day one, versus like all the ICO stuff from years ago where it was like, here's my new token. You can't do anything with it for the next 2 years, but you'll be able to do something with it eventually. So I think that's the problem to sort of be solved here. This is a pretty complicated project. I mean, this is essentially a company that needs to be formed to do this, because there's economic design, there's also smart contract work, there's front end work, and then again, like if you've watched similar projects in other ecosystems, there's also just a lot of I think like marketing and education and sort of customer development that needs to happen. So that's all explained here. And again, I would say there's been a few comments, but variations on the format and the requirements and the amount for the grant and all that stuff are very, very welcome. And the last one is essentially getting Bitcoin on Stacks. So I think like we've just seen a lot of positive response to the idea that that Stacks kind of enables innovation on top of Bitcoin. But the one sort of like key still missing thing in that offering, which is just like I think really important, especially to Bitcoiners, is like they want to be able to like sort of work directly with Bitcoin, with an asset that is one-to-one with Bitcoin on Stacks, and like they a lot of them want to stay in Bitcoin and like not like sort of have like sort of like use sort of DeFi products and token based products without like sort of getting into the risk of some other token, some novel token. And so this is not a new idea. There's a lot of this kind of stuff over in Ethereum, and I think Ren and TBTC, as well as Wrapped Bitcoin, are kind of the big example cases over there. I think we'd love for the existing things like Ren to integrate with Stacks. We also, I think, would love for like wrapped like options to like, which are sort of custodial and less decentralized. We'd love to sort of see those, and we'd also love to see community-based ones. And sort of, I think this is one of those things where competition is good. It's like we should try lots of different ways of doing this, and sort of may the best one win. So what's listed here is a proposal for like how a team would design such a system and like sort of build and release it, which again is a massive project and is essentially the formation of a new company, which is why the grant amount is a good amount. Anyway, this is like a big one. So I would say if you're interested in this, spend a lot of time studying this stuff out there, and feel free to propose, changes to the grant itself. And I'm happy to do questions.
Okay, there's one there from Freaker says, what about wrap.com/stacks? Because I know that was a recent collab, so I don't know if you're familiar with that thing. But yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I mean that's kind of what I mean. So I think that when I said that competition is good, I mean I think that there will be some people who want to do that. They'll be like, yes, I would like to use that. There'll be other people who say like, oh, I will never go through a centralized company in order to acquire wrapped stacks, or sorry, wrapped Bitcoin. They still want a Bitcoin asset. They just don't want to go through a sort of centralized company to get it, which makes sense. Which is why there is real usage for things like Ren and TBTC out there. That's why those companies exist, is to sort of fill that niche. So I'm kind of, my sense on these things is that these are pretty hard problems to solve, both technically and also from a kind of marketing and growth point of view. And so I feel like we should take like lots of tries at it as an ecosystem. Like we should just try many sort of ways to sort of crack this problem, and sort of learn from each other as we go. So I liked the wrapped stacks thing as well, and I think that actually might be like the sort of fastest and easiest way to sort of get to step one here, and then we can innovate off of that.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Jeff, for that. It seems one for that. There's another one here for Rafi. I'm going to invite her on screen here for the Stacks Foundation. But thanks for coming, and yeah, definitely check out the links in the chat there, folks. There's some very cool stuff going on. Thanks for putting those on the wish list. Okay, so Rafi. Let's get you up here. Back to the right spot here. People. All right. So we got one question there from Star. Which was any projects? Oh, it went away. Star, did you end up deleting your question? You might have. If so, it was about the foundation starting to fund sort of business ideas in more of a big way. This is definitely something for, I think, further conversation. Even the Stacks Grants channel on Discord or in the forum would be great spots to do that. Oh, and now it's come back. I think it was just a Crowdcast thing. So let's see. Screen reprompt. Okay. Maybe having trouble connecting. Just a moment here. sounds like that might be because we're hitting time here. So maybe a question that is for the Stacks Grants channel in Discord. So Star, what I'll do, I'll take that question that you've posted there, and I'll post it in the Stacks Grants channel. Probably the easiest to make sure you can get an answer to it. But if there's any other ones beyond that, that's totally good too, because the more questions, the better the grants program could be. So, but this is the last of my presence at these demo days, because my last day with the Stacks Foundation is tomorrow. So if folks want to connect with me, I'll be on LinkedIn. Just look me up there. You can search by my Stacks.org email. But yeah, thanks for coming, everybody. I guess that is where we're ending things off. And so great to see everybody's projects, and excited to see what happens in the future with everything going forward, especially all the interesting ones coming through. So yeah, lots going on. Okay, catch you on the flip side. Thanks, everybody.